Ladies and gentlemen, for the command tonight, our First Lady of the state of Tennessee, Ms. Martha Sundquist.
Drivers, start your engines.
The field of 38 pavement-pounding stock cars have been given the signal as they roar to life in a place we affectionately call Thunder Valley. The only thing louder than those race cars will be these people right here. Estimated at some 70,000, these stock car avid fans will be making noise all night long here in Bristol, Tennessee, as they watch their favorite Busch Grand National stock car drivers go at it for 250 laps here at Bristol Motor Speedway. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to Bristol Motor Speedway. Yeah, it's Thunder Valley in Bristol, Tennessee, the NASCAR Food City 250 Busch Grand National Series event. It is a beautiful night for racing here in Bristol, Tennessee. A few clouds in the sky. Couldn't ask for more perfect evenings in the mountains here of eastern Tennessee. The field lined up side by side, getting set for 250 laps. Yeah, they fired them up, and they fired up these fans. And Bill Weber, the noise down there must be deafening.
Well, Jerry, Bristol is an endless roar of sound. It begins early in the morning, and in the fall, in August, it ends late at night. We had a production meeting here at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We talked about the surprises, the fast guys in practice. One guy we never mentioned, Jeff Fuller. So what did he do? He surprised everybody, and he won the pole. Right next to him is a local favorite, Brad T. This team's shop is literally just down the road from this track. But there are more surprises here as well. Mike Wallace, who lost his Winston Cup ride, starts third. And in fourth is David Green, the points leader. He's 41 points ahead of Randy LaJoie. And LaJoie starts behind Mike Wallace. Wallace is third, and Randy LaJoie will start fifth here tonight. The fast guys are here at the front, but some guys, for special reasons, are not especially quick at qualifying, but could be the fastest guys when we begin the race. For more on that, it's a pleasure to welcome back to pit road, Benny Parsons.
Yeah, I thought I stopped doing this a long time ago, but they called me to duty tonight, and what a scramble this day has been. It started at 8 o'clock this morning when the NASCAR Busch Grand National driver checked in. At 10 o'clock, they're on the racetrack practicing. At 5 o'clock this afternoon, they qualified, and now they're racing at 7:30. And after qualifying, they could not touch their cars. Couldn't make any type of adjustment whatsoever. So all the practice today, they had to have two things in mind: qualifying and the race itself. So that's why we have some cars, really fast cars, starting in the back of the field, Gary.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Ned Jarrett, two-time NASCAR champion, and a special guest host tonight, our analyst, Kyle Petty. Kyle, welcome to ESPN. Glad to have you with us. Sorry you're not in the race car. I know you're ailing a little bit this weekend.
Just a little bit sore still, but this air conditioning up here in the booth while Benny's down there, it makes me feel a lot better.
Glad to have you with us. We'll take a look, Ned, at the Suzuki starting grid. 38 cars here to qualify. Man, qualifying was close.
It was very, very close. Just a little over a third of a second separated first and 34th. So, hey, any car in this field, I believe, could win here tonight.
There were 45 cars who came here to qualify. As you said, they had only .382 seconds. There is Jeff Fuller. How about that young man? His wife, Liz, had a baby last night in Charlotte, North Carolina, about 5:30, had a little girl, and 24 hours later, he picked up his first Busch Grand National Series pole. He had Terry Labonte start 16th. Folks, he can drive the short tracks. That's how close qualifying was. Dale Jarrett back in 20th spot. Todd Bodine back in 30th. As you look at the starting lineup, 38 cars, 34 made it by virtue of times. 4 provisional starters now make it. The car number 92 will start in 39th, Ned, because of having a champion's provisional.
Well, he had to go to a backup car. He had a qualifying lap, and he had to go to a backup car, and so he wrecked on his second lap of qualifying and had to go to a backup car, so he'll go to the rear.
That is Larry Pearson. As you watch him, we're going to be riding along with some in-cars, not the Band-Aid adhesive bandages Ford Thunderbird. That was Dale Jarrett. Here is Jeff Green's Food City Goodrich Service Chevrolet.
And boy, he was one of the fastest cars in practice, and yet he's way back in the field. Just a little bit of a slip in qualifying.
Rockin' Rodney Combs, Lance Snack, Chevy owned by the King, and Channel Lock. That's the roof cam for Kyle Petty. A race, 250 laps, track record 123.746, not broken in qualifying. That's the pole speed this week. Pit window 140, 150 laps means he'll make one stop, probably for 4 tires, and the purse almost $300,000. Pace car off the racetrack. Great crowd. Glad to have you on hand here at Thunder Valley Bristol Motor Speedway as Carl Simmons waves the green hanky, and they head into turn 1. That's a lap in Bristol, Tennessee. A shade under 16 seconds, and Mike Wallace already beginning to knock on the door a little bit from Jeff Fuller.
And Brad Teague started on the outside, and he couldn't get back in line there. He finally got back in line in 8th position, about to take over 7th now from Hermie Sadler. Trying to, but he didn't make it.
Wallace trying to make a move inside of Fuller. Got to be careful because David Green, that's the 95 car, back in 3rd spot. Then comes LaJoy in 4th. Back in 5th, Stevie Reeves driving the Clabber Girl machine.
Well, you can see they get in single file as quick as they can here early in the race, because early in the race, the bottom groove is the place to be.
Front 6 cars, nose to tail, then about a 7 or 8 car length separation back to the 7th place car. That's the car right there of Hermie Sadler. That's a 6th place car of Phil Parsons, a Channel Lock car number 10. Almost an accident. Jeff Green really trying to be patient there. Thinks better of it. Falls back in line. There is old Todd Bodine's car. Jams on the brakes. Nearly goes up across the racetrack into the wall.
He gets it back down to the low side. Todd, yeah, I guess it's okay now, but it looked like he was slowing down more than maybe he had to.
First laps is led this year. Kyle Petty, how tough is it for a driver when you look in that mirror and know some guys right on your bumpers? Just a moment ago, we'll take a look again and see what happened to the 14 car of Patty Moise, and watch the 3 car of Jeff Green come in there. He just gets a little tap, jumps back in the brakes. In-car camera view of that near collision moment ago. Good job by Jeff Green to back out of the throttle and jam on the brakes. I started to ask Kyle Petty, how tough is it here? I mean, do you watch where you're going, or do you watch the rearview mirror and see all these guys banging on you?
You don't have time to watch anything but the racetrack at Bristol. You can't watch. It's hard enough to watch what's in front of you, much less what's behind you. But right now, Mike Wallace is wearing out his rear bumper. If you watch the 47, he goes in, and he's diamonding the racetrack where the 90 car is right on the bottom. He's the fastest car right now if he can get around forward.
Whoa, trouble in turn 1. Hard impact for
Caution out. Track is clear. All right.
There's a tire rolling down the middle of the backstretch. It will bang and go over the pit wall, heads up on the back pits. That's a tire that will come across and comes across into where the trucks are parked. That tire came all the way off the right side of Mike McLaughlin's car. That's what's left of Mike McLaughlin's Royal Oak Chevrolet. And the car just snapped abruptly to the right, went up across and just tagged that concrete wall a ton.
That car is wiped out.
And it's a hard hit on the left side. Yeah, I know the right rear tire is gone, but he hit a ton on the left side. And if you hit at Bristol, you're going to hit hard no matter what.
Let's take a look and see what happened to Mike again here. This was a horrendous lick just a moment ago.
Well, you can see the car number 29 gets into the 88 car. 88 is Kevin LePage. 29 was Elliott Sadler. And let's see where McLaughlin gets involved. Well, 88 spins on around.
I think look at
There's Todd Bodine's car
on fire.
And we got a fire up in turn 4 on Todd Bodine's Cape Canaveral Cruise Line car. He is trying to get out of the car. The crew hopefully telling him that the car on fire under the hood. Now he's trying to get unbuckled, and the crews come out to get him out as there is fluid pouring from beneath the front of that car. Possibly a gas line or something has erupted.
he's going for the extinguisher. He wants help to get his race car to get that fire put out. And here comes the fire truck.
And they're trying to get out there and get the fire put out. Now they get the fire extinguishers going up to the Cape Canaveral Cruise Line. Car owned by Ron Neal, the Chevrolet Monte Carlo, and now that fire apparently extinguished. Oh, that car owned by Ron Neal. There is Todd Bodine. Fortunately able to climb out of the car, but fluid just pouring from beneath the front of that machine erupted in fire. Now, that was not the reason for the caution flag. The reason for the caution flag happened at the exact opposite end of the racetrack when Mike McLaughlin's car number 34 snapped around. Let's look again.
Well, you can see he was just running all by himself, Jerry, and as you said, it just turned around and into the wall.
It just turned around, but if you go back to the very beginning of it, as it comes in, it was down on the wheel throwing sparks before it jumped around on him. I don't know if the right rear wheel broke on him, actually broke, or if the rear end housing broke, but it was down on the wheel throwing sparks. If you run him into the corner in slow motion, you can see the sparks.
See up the left side of your screen, yeah.
The sparks are already on the racetrack, which means the wheel has already come off the car at that point in time. Either that or the tire has gone down, and the tire looked like it was pumped up the way it was bouncing down through there. So obviously something broke. I mean, he had a major failure suspension-wise on the right rear that just spun it out from under.
That was Jimmy Spencer's car, the car number 20 that spun around the Zippo lighter machine. That's the aftermath of the fire on the Cape Canaveral Cruise Line car of Todd Bodine, and that's Todd standing there, not a happy camper. Obviously, whatever broke in the front of that car, the car erupting into flames. Now, just a couple of moments before that, Todd had gone scooting in almost into the wall in turn one when the car wouldn't turn. There's Todd Bodine. Fortunately, he's okay. So, Lynn, if you're watching, and the Bodine family, Todd is okay, but the car pretty well scorched and used up. Well, when caution happens at Bristol, things happen in a hurry. Back with more after 15 laps are complete. Stay with us. Speed World coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Food City 250 from Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, that's what's left of Todd Bodine's Cape Canaveral Chevrolet. First caution. Let's show you again what happened. If we can back up at the very beginning and show you from one of our stationary cameras we call the speed shot.
Okay, we'll stop it right here. We're going to bring the 34 car into the picture here in a moment. Okay, right here. The 34 car comes into the picture, and you can see that there's sparks already coming from his car. So as Kyle said, something failed on that car as he came into the corner. He was right there by himself. Nobody ran. You see the wheel came off of it, up into the wall he went.
And Ned, the wheel was already off the car. You can see the wheel had come off the car as the car began to spark over there. So there it heads down the backstretch and jumped the pit wall. And then some other cars, of course, as they were trying to slow down, they banged into each other. And I think that was the situation that we saw that Elliott Sadler got into the Kevin LePage car. Over the left side of your screen, you saw that a moment ago there. That's the view that Jeff Green had from the Food City Goodwrench roof cam as he tries to weed his way through that incident. Of course, this white car here is Jimmy Spencer that's spinning up on the outside of the racetrack, and McLaughlin went down to the left side of the track. And here is that situation with Elliott Sadler and Kevin LePage in the car number 88. Sadler driving in the car number 29. That was in the aftermath of the McLaughlin spin. See the 81 car top of your screen? That's the car there that had the problem after over in turn 4. That's the car number 81. And his tire's flat. That left front tire is flat there right now. So he had nearly spun and flat spotted the tire, so the tire was flat. He was trying to make it to the pits. Meanwhile, let's check in with Benny Parsons. And Benny, clarify some of this stuff.
Well, what happened to Mike McLaughlin in the Royal Oak Charcoal Chevrolet? The right rear hub broke going in the corner.
It's not a good feeling, Benny. I just felt a little vibration entering. Brake pedal went to the floor, and then the right rear wheel left me, and I was doing circles.
You was hanging on?
Pretty much hanging on at that point.
And you see Todd Bodine's car? It's caught on fire.
Todd and I are not having a very good day here. I thought we were going to do good with a decent qualifying effort, which doesn't come very often here at Bristol, but we'll have to go get him next week with the Royal Oak Chevrolet at Darlington.
Okay, Mike, let's walk over here and see if we can find Todd Bodine. And, yeah, here he is. Hey, Todd, what was the fire about?
What's that?
What was the fire about?
The oil tank plug was sticking out about half an inch, not even enough, nothing you would even consider getting pulled off the car, but when the tire got flopping around, it just went in there and ripped the plug right out, just pulled it right up and emptied the oil tank right out.
Man, they caught on fire, and it was an ugly scene.
Yeah, it was ugly. Made me mad. I went over to get a fire extinguisher, and the thing was locked up.
The fire extinguisher wouldn't work.
It was locked up on the truck. Couldn't get it off the truck, but fortunately the guys got there and got it out before there's not a whole lot of real damage to the car.
You gonna try to get back in?
I don't know. We'll have to see. The biggest problem is actually plugging the oil tank up. There's no way to hold the oil in the car so the motor won't blow up. So I don't know. This is typical the way our season's been going. You know, the last 7 or 8 races, we've had an awful good race car. It never can seem to get to the end of the race.
There, folks, you can see the tire, the remains of Todd Bodine's Cape Canaveral Chevrolet. Guys?
Well, Todd Bodine and Mike McLaughlin can both go home, unfortunately, humming that country music hit. You picked a fine time to leave me, Loose Wheel. Caution number 1 at Bristol Motor Speedway. We told you it'd get exciting, and we're just getting started. Stay with us back at Thunder Valley after this. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, restart a half a lap ago, lap 25. That caution lasted 13 laps. Jeff Fuller still being shown as our leader. He was the pole sitter here. That's the top 10 left side of your screen. Yeah, 225 laps of action to go here at Thunder Valley.
And Mike Wallace has been working on his bumper since the green flag dropped at the beginning and picks it right up again.
As you watch this battle, Mike Wallace can't quite make the move. And Benny Parsons, you caught up with that loose wheel we talked about.
Yeah, someone found the loose wheel, brought it over to the NASCAR, the Busch truck, and you can see the brake rotor, the caliper, everything intact, and there's where the hub broke and came off. You talk about 80 pounds, Kyle. This thing must weigh 125 pounds.
Oh, that was dangerous. That loose wheel right there bouncing around, bouncing over the pit wall. Unfortunately, he was able to go against those trucks down there and get stopped. 6 cars, nose to tail. Jeff Fuller at the point. Then a separation of about 7 car lengths back to Hermie Sadler in 7th spot.
Field single foul.
Well, look how fast it takes him. A lap. Here's Mike Wallace. Oh, no, can't quite make him make the move. And now he does make the move.
But he gets that wheel down on the flat and couldn't get traction. It threw him a little bit sideways, so he lost what he thought he had.
Boy, Kyle Petty, that's going to be a wild feeling knowing you get down there and suddenly the car won't stick.
Suddenly it doesn't stick, and then you've got to worry about not only staying out of the car in front of you, you've got to worry about it because you're out of the gas. Those 4 or 5 cars behind you
got a car
wide open in the gas, and they're going to run all over you. So everybody did a good job of staying off each other right there because Mike could have took out a lot right there.
There's Dick Trickle in the 64 car working on the car number 63.
Curtis Markham. There's the car of Derek Cope, the Badcock forward up high. By the way, that was confirmed from NASCAR. That tire, that wheel a moment ago, did not hit anyone. That's good news down in the garage and pit area, as congested as that is. That's Jeff Green's Food City Goodrich Service Chevrolet. As he looks at the back bumper, the Badcock machine of Derek Cope. They are back in 23rd and 22nd spot.
Here's Michael Waltrip and Rodney Combs. Rodney Combs in the 43 car, the Lance car, and Michael Waltrip in the MW Ford, number 12. Chad Little in the green John Deere Pontiac number 20. And here's Dick Trickle. He makes a move on Markham. Takes the position. And there's Derek Cope down on the inside. 22nd position.
That's 22nd spot that he just took away. Boy, Dick Trickle made that look easy, Kyle.
Yeah, he made it look easy, but believe me, it's not easy.
Yeah, you have to work for everything you get on this racetrack.
That's why qualifying is so critical here. You watch these guys that qualify up front. They might not have the fastest cars here, but they're able to maintain track position. And track position has become so critical, not only in this Busch Series, but in Winston Cup racing. If you can get up front, 90% of the time you can stay up front, as evidenced by how close the qualification and how close the field was during qualifying.
Jeremy Mayfield's car number 98. That's the Steel Ford Thunderbird. Steel coming on board for sponsoring that car after they sponsored it in Talladega, and he had a good run.
That's 19th and 20th position. Mayfield is in the 20th position, and Elton Sawyer in the Lipton team number 38 in 19th position. And Ricky Craven in the car number 2. He said he had a good race car. He's just looking for a place to put it. There's Dale Jarrett catching Morgan Shepherd. That's for 16th position.
Morgan Shepherd driving for Bobby Jones, car number 50. Dale Jarrett doing double duty at Bristol, Tennessee, just like he will next week at Darlington. But next week it'll be $1 million if he can pull it off on Sunday. Dale started 20th, currently 16th.
Morgan catching the cars in front of him. There's a long line of cars there. They're not really, they're all on the same straightaway with the leader. And so we're watching 16th and 17th position as Patty Louise on the high side there. But you can see in front there, they're all on the same straightaway. Morgan had gotten a little behind the car 00. But now he has caught up to it, so.
There's Chad Little's car number 23. He is right behind Michael Waltrip's BMW Windows machine. That is 11th, 12th, and 13th. Rocket Rodney Combs in 10th spot. The King's car having a pretty good run.
Rodney gets around this place good. Every time you come up here, you can count on him to get around this place, to run pretty good. These are the kind of racetracks Rodney grew up on. And they were dirt at the time, but you might have to drive Bristol sometimes like it's dirt.
Brad Teague's car number 77.
There you're looking right in the face of Rodney Combs.
Rodney being shown in 10th spot. Looks like that car handling pretty well. He's not working the steering wheel too bad, Kyle.
No, he's not having to do much of the dirt track back to the right a little bit. He's turning left and left only.
Trying to work over Jeff Purvis, who has the Piggly Wiggly sponsorship on David Lee Murphy's machine today. Car number 4, winning at Michigan last week. Ran 126 miles, 63 laps on a tank of fuel. I said he get pretty good fuel mileage.
That's about like my Harley gets. You know what I mean? That was pretty incredible. I was very impressed by not only him, but Kevin LePage in that race.
Yeah, LePage ran 130 miles, 65 laps. Well, who are these guys chasing? Well, back up front, things haven't changed much. There is Jeff Fuller, proud Papa. Last night getting his first Busch pole tonight, and he has stayed right where he qualified in front of this field in his 46th Busch Series start. He is our leader with a great crowd on hand watching at Bristol Motor Speedway. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, field summary show you where your favorite driver is running. You see Jeff Fuller still being shown as our leader as you look at the view from atop Phil Parsons' Channel Lock Chevy. He is in 6th spot. Yeah, he can see the leaders going into turns 1 and 2. That's got to be a good feeling, Kyle, when you can sit there and out your windshield and be able to see the front of the field.
It's a great feeling. If you can see somebody in the top 10, it's a great feeling at Bristol.
31 through 38. 38 cars starting. See the couple of cars that are out. Todd Bodine and Mike McLaughlin involved in that horrendous incident there in the first at lap 15. McLaughlin.
Terry Labonte just pulled down and let Dale Jarrett pass him for 13th position. Jarrett to come up, that surprised me a little bit. Terry, there they are. Terry was running along there in 13th, and all of a sudden he just pulled down to the inside of the track and said, going by. You're running faster than I want to run right now.
I tell you what, sometimes that's the best thing to do. Is when you're holding somebody up or somebody's holding you up, the best thing to do is get out of their way. Let them go ahead and run up there and run the race. And the Winston Cup drivers are really good about doing that, especially to each other.
There's the points battle in NASCAR Busch Series competition. The 95 car, that's David Green, 94 Series champion, has a 41-point lead over the car. It's right behind him, Randy LaJoie. They are in 3rd and 4th spot in the field, but they are in 1st and 2nd spot in the point standings.
Or you can hear they come by there in a hurry.
Jeff Fuller ran 121 miles an hour. That was the average speed for his pole-winning lap. So that puts the speed, what, the middle of the straightaway over 135, Kyle?
makes it way too fast for a racetrack like this. I'm not good at math. I'm out of that. You know what I mean?
That's Kyle Petty joining us as a guest analyst tonight as you're watching Busch Series action from Bristol Motor Speedway. That's Mike Wallace in the 90 car. He's second spot. He's getting worked over now by David Green and LaJoie right on his bumper.
Earlier in the race, Mike Wallace was wearing out full. I mean, especially through the center of the corner. And then all of a sudden, as we saw before, he got down on the flat coming out of turn 2 over there, and he never has come back to challenge for it. And since that time, David Green and LaJoie are right there waiting for him to make a little bit of a slip, and I think they're a little bit faster maybe at this point.
One car's coming in a hurry is the Band-Aid machine. And he started back in 20th spot. And where is he right now? He's in the top 15 at least.
Running 13th right now, working on Chad Little there for 12th. And moves to the inside. Takes the position.
And that's about the only way you can pass at a place like this. You saw the 23 car go in the corner, start down to the bottom, and got out from under him just a little bit. He slips up. Dale's car works good enough to take the center of the corner away and power away from him.
Dale made a pretty good slip in qualifying. He was among the top 5 or 6 in practice and started back there in 20th position. Here's Michael Waltrip working on Rodney Combs again.
Almost an accident up front. That's those cars trying to get by the Bobby Dodder machine. Bobby getting hung to the high side in the Loop Tech Chevy. Now Hermie Sadler. Here goes Brad Teague beneath them. We'll show you what happened a moment ago, or almost happened.
Boy, Mike Wallace ran in on him, touched him just a little bit. He had to really get on the brakes, Mike Wallace did, to keep from running all over Dodder. Good driving.
That's Mike Wallace in the 90 car. Ron Paints. Barry Owen owns that car. Barry fielded a Winston Cup car last week in Michigan for Mike in the GM Goodrich Dealers 400. That is second, third, fourth, and fifth. You see right there. Jeff Fuller just pulled away, set sail, man.
He really has. He's driven away. Here's David Green trying to look on the inside of Mike Wallace. He might have him. And how many more Mike in that second groove? Really lost 2 positions.
That's phenomenal that he only lost 2 positions because, you know, you said that second, third, and fourth a minute ago, but that's really second to 14th. They're all running in a pack right here.
That's Phil Parsons in 6th spot, the car number 10, looking over Stevie Reeves in the Clabber Girl Chevy. Tony George, who owns Clabber Girl, here to watch, the former USAC midget champion. Stevie having a good night. He qualified on the pole here last August, but had a good running qualifying tonight and a good run thus far in the race in 5th spot.
He did. He led quite a bit of the race last year, which was the highlight of his year, I guess, in 1995, and then having a great qualifying effort here and a good run so far. Sitting there in 5th position, but Phil Parsons is working on him.
Take a look here. Dale Jarrett has caught these 2 cars. 43, that's Rodney Combs. The 12 of Michael Waltrip.
Well, Michael sitting there trying to drive offensively to get around Rodney Combs and at the same time having to hold off Jarrett.
That is 10th, 11th, and 12th. Meanwhile, Jeff Fuller, take a look at the distance there. The interval, the leaderboard. Fuller is checking out, saying, see you.
Clear.
Michael's in the worst position you can be in. To try to drive offensively out the windshield and defensively out the back glass and know that you're going to get hammered either way. So, you know, he's got his hands full right now.
If you're wondering about pit stops, they can go about 140 laps, 150 before they'll need to worry about it. The rule is 2 sets of tires under caution, so most of them will come in, make 1 stop for fuel, put 4 tires on, and go to the checkered flag, unless the cautions would dictate otherwise.
This is one of the best races on the racetrack right now. There are a lot of cars that are running pretty close together, but none are fighting as hard as these guys are right here for the position.
Well, there's Jeff Fuller's Sunoco Chevy. Ted Geschichter, the owner of that car, got to be smiling right now. His young man leading over the second and third place cars. That's the 95 and the 74 of David Green and Randy LaJoie.
Well, since they got around Mike Wallace, they've driven away from him, and now Stevie Reeves is really working on Mike Wallace. So, Kyle, you're right. After he hit that flat spot over there, lower part of the racetrack, his car hasn't worked as well since then. Could it knock the toe end off? Is it?
I don't know if it knocked the toe end off or if his car has just become. He was so fast at the first of the race, he may have been set up a little bit looser. And his car may, after he run the tires off of it for 20 or 30 laps, it could be that. But it's real funny that it happened at that time when he run down across the flat.
Well, Mike Wallace is is fourth. Behind him, the Clapper Girl car of Reeves is fifth. Then comes Phil Parsons in sixth. Ernie Sadler back there in seventh in the one car. And in the host, there's Brad Teague. And they're all waiting for possibly a slip from Mike Wallace. And Mike holding his on the bottom of the racetrack, or trying to anyway. Here's Reeves. Watch the left front. Watch the sparks coming out from behind that left front tire. What is that, guys?
You know, he could have, I tell you what, he very well could have run down across the flat and drug the bolt head off of his sway bar arm or something like that. And maybe he just doesn't have a sway bar. Maybe it's something like that, but it's something in the left front suspension.
Manny, what did he break? Is it a shock or a sway bar part? Whoa!
Ball behind you. Back straightaway, car in the inside wall. Caution's out. Car's down in 3 on the apron.
Had something wrong with the exhaust. Looked like the exhaust system was dragging the racetrack, and he was losing horsepower because he had knocked holes in all the exhaust system. But he was slowing down. There was no doubt about it.
Oh, what a tough break for Mike Wallace. Oh, we just saw that dragging a moment ago, and that explains why Mike was having a problem. Let's show you again what happened to Mike here coming off 2.
Well, let's see. It looks like that Stevie Reeves might have just barely touched him, and right at that point of the racetrack, it doesn't take much. And because you're almost out of control coming off there anyway, if he gets the slightest little touch, well, around he went.
Here's a different angle, Kyle. Take a look.
It doesn't take much at all right here at this place. And I'll say something else. If you're a little bit loose at all coming up out of the corner right there, that's the place you check up out of the gas just a little bit. He could have come up through there, checked up out of the gas just a touch. Stevie's right on him. He's got no place to go, and everybody else just dodges him from there on out.
And one final angle from above. We'll see if there is some contact, Ned. Yeah, there's
just a little bit. And it wasn't much. I mean, you know, you hit somebody on straightaway, that'd be no problem. But just right at that critical point of the racetrack.
And as Kyle said, that's a spot where you normally check up, so you can't really point the finger. Here's another angle from looking at the top of Dale Jarrett's car.
So you've got 4 or 5 cars running right here under a blanket. They come up off the corner of the 90 car, and you're praying that car spins away from you when you get right here. And that's the happiest thing in the world, when he goes down away and he never comes back across the racetrack, because that could have been bad for 5 or 6 guys right there.
Well, Dale Jarrett made it through, but this driver didn't. Bill Weber is caught up with Mike Wallace.
Mike, you were a rocket at the beginning, then you started falling back. What happened?
Well, I was starting to get a little loose. And I left the 74 and a Caterpillar car go by me. You know, there's no use holding them up. And just trying to ride to a caution, and I guess somebody helped us be the caution.
What happened there when you wrecked?
I think the best way they tell me to say it now is a racing incident.
Okay, he wasn't very happy. He's, you know, he's not masking his feelings. He's upset, and his car's torn up, and they thought it was going to be a great night. I mean, they really thought this was going to be their night, but it's not.
Well, Bill, as you see, pit road is full. There is our leader, Jeff Fuller. He is in and out.
Guys, nice job.
Oh, that crew excited about their great pit stop. David Green. There's Green out the 64 of Dick Trickle. LaJoy taking a little longer in the pits to get Steve.
Okay, you beat Herbie, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, pit stops have been made. Second caution of the night. Many of these guys will not come back to pit road unless something happens to the car. Back with more from Bristol Motor Speedway after this. Moon over Bristol. Well, maybe it's not moonshine, but the moon is certainly a glow over the mountains of eastern Tennessee at Bristol Motor Speedway as we work the second caution flag of the night. Now, something unusual just happened a moment ago when this caution came out. Some of the lead cars did not know that pit road was open, which meant some of the guys behind them were able to come in on the first lap and pit, which may have given them an advantage. Take a look here.
Hey, you see Jeff Green in the black car, the Goodrich car, coming down pit road. Who's that? Dick Trickle in the.
That's Curtis Markham and Trickle.
Yeah, and Trickle.
Jason Keller, the 57 Slim Jim car.
So they got in and out, and I guess pit road was open, but I don't know why the leaders either decided later that they needed to come in or just didn't realize that pit road was open then.
Now these cars will go. Now watch the top of the screen. There comes the leader, Jeff Fuller's Sunoco car behind the safety car. Now they come down pit road, but meanwhile the other cars have already made their pit stops. So by virtue of them coming in and making a stop, they will now show Michael Waltrip as a leader. These guys came in and pitted a moment ago, changed 4 tires and put fuel in, but those 4 or 5 cars that pitted on the front stretch along with a couple on the back straightaway pitted when the pits first opened, and they've got a break.
Yeah, and I don't think Michael Waltrip made a pit stop, so he is the leader of the race. Let's go to the pits and Benny.
This is Steve Bird, crew chief for Randy LaJoy. How come you guys didn't pit that first time by?
That was, the sign here didn't get put out good enough, the flag down there. Something got messed up in NASCAR or something. When we started going by, it wasn't open. Then all of a sudden they opened it, you know? They said something about the pace car did it, but they never did it that way before. It's always the flag.
So they're saying that when they went by, the flag was not quite open, but after the 4 or 5 of the leaders went by, then they opened pit road, is what Steve Bird's contention, I guess, talking to his driver, Randy LaJoy.
Well, they have a green flag that they hold over the pit wall down there at the end of pit road when you come out of turn 4. That's what the drivers, I guess, were looking for. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, Michael Waltrip decided not to pit, and he made that decision on his own because his radio is not working. He can hear the crew, but the crew cannot hear him. He's leading the race, but his radio is not working so well right now, but he made the decision to stay out. They told him, if you want to come in, we're ready. If you don't, stay out. He stayed out.
All right, thank you, Bill. That explains it. And there's the green flag we're talking about. The NASCAR Busch Series official holds that flag over the pit wall. That's at the very entrance to pit road, and the drivers look for that. Now let's show you how the shuffling took place. Now the top 5, as you heard Ned say, and Bill Weber, Michael Waltrip did not pit. They had a radio communications problem. Jeff Green being shown in 2nd spot. Jason Keller, Spencer, Elliott Sadler in 5th spot, 6 through 10. There, take a look. Terry Labonte, Ricky Craven, Buckshot Jones, Jeff Fuller. Now he was the leader, but by virtue of coming in the next time, he is in 9th spot, and David Green in 10th. 84 of 250 laps are complete. We'll come back with green flag action from Bristol Motor Speedway after this. Wonderful stock car fans on hand here at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Food City 250. We might add that Michael Waltrip was actually 11th and Jeff Green was 12th prior to that caution flag. Our coverage coming up tomorrow, of course, NASCAR Winston Cup racing action. Racing coverage tonight, Speedway, 12:30 a.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow, Formula One qualifying, the Grand Prix of Belgium, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Deuce. NASCAR tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. Bob Jenkins will be here for our live flag-to-flag coverage of Goodies Headache Powder 500. Back to green flag racing at Bristol. Mayfield trying to get a lap back. He was showing as a lap down in the 98 car. Now he is in front of Michael Waltrip back on the tail end of the lead lap.
What he would like to have now is a caution as we look out Jeff Green's car. He's in 2nd place.
Jeremy had the advantage of new tires on that restart, so he got a really good jump there. Michael on the inside, like you said, didn't pit, chose to stay out because of radio communications, and now he's trying to hold off somebody behind him.
Challenge back there for 3rd spot. Jimmy Spencer went by Jason Keller. The 20 car, the Zippo Chevrolet, that's Spencer. The 57 is Keller. He zippoed right on by him. The 99 car, Glenn Allen, being shown. Actually, he's a lap down in 27th position.
You talked about him. He was involved in a spin earlier. I don't think he hit anything. He just spun around. But now finds himself up there in the top 5.
Elliott Sadler driving the car 29. Sandy Jones, the crew chief there for Gary Bechtel, the WCW Championship Wrestling Chevy. That car being shown still in 5th position, right ahead of Terry Labonte. There's Labonte in the 5 car, and Ricky Craven right behind him in the car number 2.
Had a great run last week at Michigan. Really, not to have ever seen the racetrack and to show up and to finish like he did, it was pretty incredible.
And there is Dale Jarrett right behind the 64 car.
That's 11th and 12th. Cars there running together. See David Green right there in front of him, and the guy who led earlier, Fuller, right in front of him. And there's Terry Labonte, Ricky Craven, Buckshot Jones all going by. Elliott Sadler, in fact, the train is going to go by. There goes David Green down on the inside.
Okay, stay in line. Stay in line. We're going to slow car by.
Well, it's not such a slow car. It's just the fact that he got on the outside and can't get back down.
Now he's going to try his little brother. Even Hermie, his brother, won't give him a shot to get in. Hermie goes by.
Now he can get down low. But boy, that cost him a lot of position. But he did the smart thing. Rather than try to crowd himself into a hole that might not have been there, he did the right thing, but just dropped back and fallen in the back of that line.
Well, Kyle mentioned that Elliott Sadler had never seen Michigan. He'd never seen Bristol until yesterday.
Whoa, there's a spin. Buckshot Jones.
Oh, Elliott Sadler goes high. Larry Pearson spins, and he will tag the back of Buckshot.
They cleared out. Go high. Go high. Caution south.
And caution being shown for the third time tonight here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The 98 car got a lap back by virtue of that, but the Buckshot Jones lost the left rear quarter panel, and there's what's left of Larry Pearson's Stanley Tool Chevy. That actually was a backup car after the primary car was wrecked in qualifying. Tough break for the Mac Martin Stanley Tools team. Take a look again at what happened.
Okay, on the middle of the frame there, you see Buckshot. I don't know if he had a little help there or not, but anyway, he goes around right up in front of a list of cars, hits Dick Trickle, comes back down across the track, and then we see Larry Pearson spinning in there in the car number 92, and he hits Buckshot Jones. And I think those were the only two that was involved. A lot of cars went down on the flat and got around without hitting anything. Here it is again. He didn't. I don't think he had any help there. I think the back end just went out from under him, Kyle.
Yeah, Fuller did a great job avoiding it. All these cars did. He comes back up the racetrack like we were talking a minute ago. You hope the guy spins away from you. He comes back up the racetrack. Evidently, Larry gets tapped from behind or jumps on the brakes, and it gets out from under him, and they're fortunate it's only a two-car accident. Everybody else did a tremendous job.
Now let's ride along with Rodney Combs behind Larry Pearson.
Yep, he got hit a little bit there. Shot Larry right into the 00. Now, is Michael Waltrip going to pit? Well, we'll see.
There's the face cam for Rodney Combs, Lance Chevrolet. Michael Waltrip, NW Windows Ford, still looking for that first win in 1996 Busch Series competition. His best finish, a second to Mark Martin at Darlington back early in the year on March 23rd. Under caution for the third time tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's check in with Benny Parsons.
Well, we saw Dick Trickle go in and hit the 00 Buckshot Jones. He has damage to the left front fender. As a matter of fact, they're going to have to cut the fender off before they can continue on. Now the pace car is coming right now, so they've got to go, but they'll be back in. They got to do something with that fender because it is loose. And Michael Waltrip once again chose not to pit.
So Michael Waltrip stays out. How long will he wait before Ronnie Silver will bring the MW Windows Ford on the pit road? We'll check with him and let you know when we come back. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now you can really drive on the Information Superhighway. The official site for NASCAR on the internet is www.nascar.com. NASCAR Online will take you into the garage where you can get into the nuts and bolts of the sport. During the weekly live chat sessions, you can talk with the drivers, crew chiefs, and team owners. NASCAR Online, www.nascar.com. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Michael Waltrip probably wishes he could get online to communicate with his crew. He's tapping on the roof and on the door for yes and no. He cannot talk to his crew. He can hear them. They're going to try and go halfway, a little further before they pit. Green flags out.
I believe that might come back to bite Michael as time goes by here this evening, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be good strategy.
That's an unusual twist on the Information Highway. Not exactly high-tech like the internet. Just sort of banging on the roof. That brings back memories of the old days where you rub the door and bang on the roof.
Yeah, up this way meant one thing, pushing loose. I never could figure out what thirsty meant. That's what I always want to know. I was always thirsty. I wanted to be banging on something else.
And now Jeff Green working on his buddy Michael. They grew up in Owensboro, Kentucky. Both those guys.
Sure did. Good buddies growing up. Jeff ran the Nashville Motor Speedway for a number of years. Here's Here's Purvis, Elliott Sadler, now Rodney Combs makes a move inside the 29 car.
Well, we've seen this picture before, and there's the car 00 Buckshot Jones out there losing part of his race car. So I started to say that we've seen that shot. But, oh, and here's the problem. Stevie Reeves has crashed here on the front straightaway.
Clabber girl forward. Here come the leaders out of turn 4. Caution flag waving from Carl Simmons. Reeves down against the inside pit wall. And that'll make it 4. Almost a handful of cautions at Bristol, Tennessee. Boy, Stevie Reeves had a good run going in the Clabber girl car number 96.
After he had made the pit stop, Jerry, he had dropped back in the field, but he was up there in the top 10 before all the leaders made their pit stops.
Let's show you again what happened to Stevie's Ford Thunderbird. And the leader, though, comes on the pit road. There's Michael Waltrip. And Bill Weber is there.
Well, this is a surprise. Ronnie Silver told me just a few laps ago they were going to try and go at least halfway. Lap 114 now. Michael Waltrip has right side tires and fuel. Now they come around to the left side, having trouble with the right front. He's got the car on top of the hose to the air gun. They finally yank it out and come around to the left front. You can lose a lap here, even under caution. Now they drop the car, and Michael's going to go ahead and back out. Now he almost runs into Stevie Reeves. A radio falls off the hood of his car onto the ground. Stevie goes around that and limps into his pit with his damaged Clabber girl Ford.
Well, let's show you if we can as Michael Waltrip exits the pits what happened to Stevie Reeves. Left side of your screen.
Well, it was in a pack of cars back there, Jerry, coming off of turn 4. Apparently got tapped or something. Anyway, the car just shot to the inside of the racetrack, spun down to the inside retaining wall and stayed there.
And let's take a look from one of our pit handheld cameras across the pit road at Stevie.
Well, it just sort of came out of the pack there. I don't know, Kyle.
It's hard to tell from that angle whether anybody got into him or whether. And that's a place just like when we saw the 90 car come up out of turn 2. It's the same type corners. These corners are almost identical. You come up out of turn 4, it just jumps out from under you.
Kyle, does the driver know? Do you always know if you've been hit, or sometimes you get out of the car and not know?
Here, you don't know for a number of reasons. The racetrack is so rough, you're bounced around, the car pitches from left to right. You watch the in-car cameras, how much the cars pitch around. Somebody can get into you, and you lose it, and you hit the wall, and you come in, and the crew says, what happened? And you just say, I lost it. And you watch it on TV, and you see where somebody ran all over you. So a lot of times at a place like this, you can't tell whether somebody got into you or not. As a driver, you're always going to say, yeah, man, he knocked the crap out of me back there. You know what I mean? I didn't lose that on my own. But, you know, when you step back, the worst thing that ever happened to a driver was TV, because this thing tells the truth all the time.
That's Kyle Petty, our guest analyst tonight, having him here at ESPN, still nursing those injured ribs and that fractured scapula. And the 12 car will come back to pit road. Maybe they can change those left side tires this time. Maybe put a radio in the car. BMW windows forward. As he will get his service and left side tires. And there's Danny Glad and some of the Wood Brothers crew getting work on that car. We're under caution for the 4th time today. 116 laps are complete. Back to green flag racing. Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. The car number 40, Tim Fiedel, is a lap down looking at the rear of the Food City Chevrolet. Jeff Green driving for Teresa and Dale Earnhardt. Tony Uri and company preparing that car. He is the leader for the first time this year, being shown as a leader in Bristol, Tennessee. Benny Parsons has caught up with Stevie Reeves. BP?
Stevie had a great run, going best run of the year. What happened?
It's just pretty tight racing out there right now. And, you know, I got trying to get underneath somebody. I got tapped from behind, and I got into the back of Mike Wallace earlier. I really hated that. I mean, that's not the way we race. It's tight out there, and you know, sometimes that happens. I hate it for the Clabber girl and Big 8 people. We had a good qualifying run and a good race going, and you know, it's just disappointing we're out this early.
One other thing, guys, the 92 car right over to your right. Oh, there's trouble on. Oh, we got some trouble on the racetrack, guys.
Jeremy Mayfield has slid up high, and the 98 car up against the wall. You saw Shane Hall's 85 car down on the inside. That is the Steel sponsorship, the new colors for Jeremy Mayfield. His car comes to rest up against the wall. There is Shane Hall's car number 85.
So was there contact between the two of them? Here they are. Yes, the 85 car gets a little tap from the 98 car, and then the 85 comes back into the right rear of the 98 car and shoots him up into the wall. didn't say that on the screen, but I know that's what happened. Had to, right, Kyle? When you hit that right rear,
Had to.
and had to turn him up into the wall.
Had to turn him.
There comes the car number 98, Jeremy Mayfield, the Meredith Rourke-owned machine, as he brings the steel car into the back pits. And there is Shane Hall, still smoking a little bit in the Stegall efforts. Back with more. Caution number 5 at Bristol. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. Here's Benny Parsons.
Air pressure, the key word in NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing, Winston Cup racing. Checking the air pressure and checking that buildup. Right now we're checking the right front tire. It's supposed to have 42 pounds of static air pressure. It will build to about 58 pounds of air pressure. One thing they do to keep that buildup consistent is they use nitrogen. This does not have moisture in it. There's no water in it. Compressed air has water. So it builds up inconsistent, and the buildup will continue going as that water gets hotter and hotter and makes steam inside those tires. So all the fellows on pit road use nitrogen to keep that buildup as consistent as possible.
Thank you very much, Benny Parsons. That's a good one of the inside tips in NASCAR at Busch Series Racing.
Green flag.
Spotters telling their drivers green flag, and Jeff Green pulls away.
Tried to get alongside him to get back in the lead lap, but couldn't quite do it. Tim seems to have a good race car now. He can keep right up with Jeff Green and knows that he can get around him and another caution comes out, he can get back in this thing.
Jeff Green being shown the leader. That is Fiedel with a lap car right behind him. The Doug Taylor-owned Kleenex sponsorship. Aside from losing that lap, Fiedel having a good run, as you said. And behind him, the 5 car. It's actually the second place car of Terry Labonte in the Bayer colors.
Jimmy Spencer was running second. Of course, he made a pit stop during this last caution. Showing 25 cars in the lead lap, so Tim Fiedel would be running in 26th position. And now Terry Labonte is going to get by.
Well, Terry's going to make a move and now slide to the inside. Fiedel falls right back in behind Labonte. That's Ricky Craven in the car number 2.
Craven running in 3rd place. 4th is Jason Keller. 5th is Jeff Fuller. 6th is David Green. Dale Jarrett is 7th. Brandon LaJoy is 8th. 9th is Phil Parsons. And 10th is car number 1 of Hermie Sadler. Then comes Chad Little.
133 laps are in the books of 250, which make up the Food City 250. Whoa, contact.
Keep going, good job. Track is clear.
Brad Teague spins up high. There's the Fiedel car down low. Teague left side of your screen. That's the Food Country car. He spun up high to avoid the spinning machine.
I believe there was a little contact between Ricky Craven and Tim Fiedel as they went into turn 1. We'll see that in a moment.
6 caution flag tonight here on lap 136. We'll show you what happened.
Okay, we see the black car of Ricky Craven trying to go down on the inside. He thought that he had an opening there, and Fiedel was coming down as he went into the turn. They made contact, and around Tim goes in the Kleenex car.
Different angle, looking for the cars coming across the racetrack.
And you see the Fiedel car go up high, and then here comes another spin as somebody gets into Brad Teague. The blue car, can't see that. Okay, it's Jim Bowen. Jim Bowen in the car number 51, the Barbasol car.
Jim trying to get his car woed down, getting it slowed, couldn't quite get it stopped. And we'll show you Phil Parsons coming through it all in his channel lock Chevy.
Yeah, this happened in front of a long list of cars there. See, Phil dips down low, very low on the racetrack, gets back up out in the groove, and the motor's right on the ramp.
Well, caution out for the 6th time. Here is Rodney Combs, who's having a good run in the Lance Chevy. He is in the pits.
Brad Teague is in as well. Let's go to the pits and Bill Weber.
Well, he is in here. His roof flap is up. They're going to try and change 4 tires and get him back out. They go around to the right side. A little sheet metal damage on the left rear. Can't see the other side of the car, but they've got the right side tires on, cleaning the windshield. Now they're going to decide it's just a 2-tire change. And they're trying to get Brad to go back out, and he slowly pulls away.
And there's the hood that's come up on Jim Bound's Barbasol Chevy. I mean, it's pretty impossible to see. He's probably driving through a little crevice. They're basically trying to tell him where to go. I guess you can see underneath the front of that hood. You see a little bit of the windshield there sticking out, but that car heavily damaged. His Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
Well, what a tough break for him. That family has had a tough break here recently. His mom passed away last week, and Chuck got an arm broken, his brother, and now here this wreck tonight. Of course, Jim apparently is okay himself, but his race car is not doing too well right now.
See the ductwork hanging down the front of the right front tire. That's part of the brake ductwork they use here that's come loose. And
I'm not so sure that hood's not going to come back up. I think they just slammed the hood. I don't think they canned anything.
Well, he's getting up to speed. He's going to try to get back to pit road. The field now forming behind the safety car. It pulls away. We're going to go back to green flag racing.
Green flag. Go, go.
And Allen in the car number 99 is at least a lap down.
Now beginning to work on Jeff Green. 3 is Green, 5 is Labonte.
You see the nose of that Monte Carlo Chevrolet shooting right up there on him.
Terry already a 2-time winner this year at Atlanta in Watkins Glen. That's the Watkins Glen car they brought to Bristol, Tennessee that Terry's running.
I'm not sure that Watkins Glen is anything like Bristol, Tennessee. I don't understand that reasoning, but obviously it's working for them because they're running second.
He said they got 1 road course car. They've already run their 1 road course of the year, so they got to bring the car they don't need for the rest of the year to Bristol.
I'm telling you, you think that's funny and you think that's strange, but most people bring the car that they mind losing the least. Right. And they mind tearing up the least, they bring it to Bristol. We used to bring a car to Bristol that was about 8 years old. And we kept trying to wreck it, and every time we brought it up here, we finished 8th or 9th or 10th, and finally we wrecked it, and then we couldn't run in the top 20 after that.
Wish you had it back then.
Boy, Terry Labonte just whoa, how about a little nudge there? Right up to the back. Now pulls to the inside of Jeff Green. Whoa!
Boy, he had to get on the binders there. Here he comes again. Labonte appears to be a little faster. He's got a nose up under him.
Down on the apron, down on the inside, uses the room, gets Green up out of the groove, and now Labonte will come by. Craven will come by. Green gets down in behind Craven in front of the lap car of Glenn Allen.
And that's a good example of Winston Cup drivers racing the guys that usually run Busch all the time. Terry got his nose up under the 3 car, dove off into the first corner, and he realized that the car was getting room. If it had been Earnhardt or somebody else, a regular Winston Cup competitor, he would have probably let off and let him have it.
Boy, Jeff or Jason Keller really lost a lot of positions. He's still losing positions. He was running in 4th place a few laps ago. Folks, he's running about 15th now. The train is going by on the inside.
That's a Slim Jim car number 57 we're talking about there.
There's Michael Walter trying to make a move back up through the pack. That was just a lap ago. Elton Sawyer in the car number 38. Derek Copen, 26. A lot of racing going on everywhere.
Car in turn 2, that is Ricky Craven. And the 74 car, second in the points, LaJoy. He has also made contact with the wall. Craven, apparently a tire coming off. Look at the right front, that caution flag waving over there.
I think the tire that came off of the 2 car is hung up under the 74 car right there. That's why he couldn't turn. He run up on the tire and he drove it straight in the wall.
Tire caught. Get the jack ready. Stop one. Can you stop and try to get it out? All right. Try to get in here.
he might have a little bit more problems than he thinks he has. It's going to be a little bit more than just taking that tire out of there. However, he's still able to drive it, and the 3 car is coming into the pits.
Tony Uri and company will go to work on the Goodrich Chevrolet as he was being shown as leader. He will get right side tires and top it off in fuel. They will make an adjustment on the right rear, try to tighten the car up. Well, the car was sliding a little bit. There's a 74 still pushing the right front tire.
Put 4 tires on this thing.
The 74 car, if you look at the 74 car close, that tire's drove up under there far enough that it's got the front of the frame up off the ground. It's taking the camber out of both front tires.
There's some gasoline burning in the exhaust of the 2 car, Ricky Craven. Let's go into 74 pits with Vinny.
I tell you, this is not pretty at all because it has broken the radiator. The radiator is broken in the 74 car, so they're changing the tires. He's going back out.
Tire here, guys!
And once again, while I've got it, let me just show you what happened to this thing. They're trying to get it out of the way. It looked like that the spindle broke because the hub is there, the brake rotor is gone. It looked like maybe the spindle broke on the 2 car.
Well, I tell you, this track is so tough on every part of a race car, particularly the right front and the suspension of the race car.
And Kyle, over the years, when a crew brings a car here, after they run this race at Bristol, whether it's the Busch race and the Winston Cup race, don't they take the stuff off and just throw it away?
You just throw it away. You throw away every piece on the car. And you come here with brand new stuff. It's not like these guys that come up here with junk. It's stuff they've been running all year. We saw a hub break off the back of the 34 car. Now we see a right front spindle or something in the right front suspension break off of this car. It's incredible how hard this car is, and it's incredible the force you drive down into the corners and that you exert on the right front corner or on the right rear corners of the cars.
Take a look at it from a different angle. As he comes into turn 2, the wheel comes off, he gets into the wall, and then the tire comes down. We'll see Randy LaJoie come along there in just a moment. And see there, he has already picked up that tire. And he didn't hit the wall too hard, but
you could see as he got up on top of the tire, he's on the brakes on top of the tire trying to turn the wheels, but the car's continuing to go straight because at that point in time the tire was up and it lifted the front wheels up off the ground.
There's Craven's impact you see from Jeff Green's car. Okay, we'll see if we can show you. It looked like a high-speed hockey game. Watch the tire come on. Looks like they're passing the puck, and LaJoie just picks it up. There it comes.
There it comes down on the inside, and you saw right there that it got right underneath the car of Randy LaJoie, and then, as Kyle said, he picks his wheels up off the ground a little bit that the car just simply won't steer. You see the tire come off, and then LaJoie comes along, just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And Bill Weber is caught up with Ricky Craven. Bill?
A cold drink of water, you're okay. What happened out there?
It broke the right front suspension, and you know this place is tough. It's tough on the drivers, it's tough on the cars, but it broke something and it just shot for the wall. But I'm okay. Say hi to Kay and the kids and my family, and got a good, safe car. I hate it for the guys. They worked awfully hard, and this is the car that we prepared for. We're planning on going to Darlington with, but we got a couple other good cars left.
Good luck tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
Up top.
Less than 100 laps remaining, just 95 to be exact, as Terry Labonte is shown as our leader here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be right back. Our NASCAR Busch Grand National Series coverage of the Food City 250 from Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by the more than 1,400 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Dynomax, performance exhaust systems engineered by Walker. Back to Green Flag Racing, Terry Labonte, our leader. Car number 5, running in second spot, being shown as Jeff Fuller. David Green is third. The man who was second overall in the point standings, Randy LaJoie. There's a 74 car, and it's still now showing some smoke.
Yeah, still smoke coming from that accident he had a moment ago, and then he gets a little tap from the rear. Randy Porter in the car number 48, and Randy just ran up on him quicker than he thought he would.
And I think Benny may have called it right a minute ago, the way it's smoking out the pipes and stuff. It's probably knocked all the water out of that thing, and it's just running hot, and he's just melted the motor now. And, you know, there's not a lot you can do with it when it starts smoking out the pipes like that.
There's Brad Teague, the car number 77, who's involved in that spin a little bit ago, trying to avoid another car spun to the inside. And there's Jeff Green working a food battle here. Food City against Food Country. Ford is the 77, the Chevy is the 3. It's a food fight.
Well, that's a tough pass on that outside. Let's see if he can pull it off. Yep, he's going to be able to. Good.
Yeah, I think he's the first car I've seen pass a fast car on the outside. They've passed lap cars and they've done that. But that's the 77. Brad's been running pretty good all night long, so that's a tough pass.
He has to give a little bit there. There's give and take on this racetrack. Brad Teague giving a little bit to allow Jeff Green to get by. Now Chad Little, he's not going to be able to do it quite as easy.
Remember, the 3-car made a pit stop and they put fresh rubber on. You see Chad Little now, you said they're trying to work over the Food Country car. Chad Little's John Deere Pontiac. Chad's scheduled to run the Winston Cup event, the Goodies Headache Powder 500 tomorrow night. For Gary Bechtel.
Now he's going to try it on the inside. That doesn't work either.
I tell you what, there's nothing worse than to be behind a car, see a car go drive past them and drive off and leave you, and you're trying to get around the same car and he's still holding you up.
Yeah, he got him loose enough that he got up on the outside, but there's Jim Bowen.
Our AutoZone race recap. Terry Labonte, the leader, has led 25 of 170 laps. Lead changes 3. There have been 7 cautions for 49 laps. They are side by side. The average speed 71.350 miles per hour. Lap leaders: Jeff Fuller, our pole sitter, Michael Waltrip, Jeff Green, Terry Labonte, currently shown as our leader. Now to race. Cars that have had to park at McLaughlin, Stewart, Shepard, Mike Wallace, and Mayfield, along with these cars of Stevie Reeves and Ricky Craven.
Boy, that had to be a frustrating situation for Chad Little there a moment ago. Here is Purvis in the 4-car and the 12-car Michael Waltrip. Michael has made a good move back up towards the front. He's running in 7th, 8th, trying to take over 7th position there.
That Purvis car, number 4 in 7th spot. Michael Waltrip is 8th. The 20 car, Jimmy Spencer. Good run for the Zippo machine for Spencer. He is in 9th spot. That's 7th, 8th, and 9th. As we are just 75 laps from the conclusion here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Glad to have you with us. Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, Kyle Petty, Ned Jarrett, and here's truly Jerry Punch. Live Busch Series action from Thunder Valley. Now Mikey makes a move to the inside of Purvis. Mikey Waltrip we're talking about. Gets Jeff out of the lane, and Spencer will follow him right through.
Jerry Coach tried to get through, but he couldn't quite get there in time before the gap closed on him.
I guess, Kyle, the front guy makes the route and everyone else follows the hole.
If you got a good guy that's willing to root for you, that's what it was. I ran a couple of races up here and followed Jack Ingram up through here, and I don't think anybody rooted as good as Jack Ingram did. I will tell you that.
There are the lead cars. That's Terry Labonte looking for his 3rd win of 1996. Mayer sponsorship. Beecher Hetland Motors. Awful strong engines in Labonte Chevrolet. That's an in-house motor program for Beecher Hetland. There's the 47 and 95. That's 2nd and 3rd. And look who's in 4th spot. Dale Jarrett has come back to the front again in that Band-Aid Ford.
Well, of course, attrition has helped him some, but he also has passed a good number of race cars. He was in 12th place after all of them made their pit stops. So he's able to run right there with David Green and Jeff Fuller. Labonte keeping himself around 5 car lead.
Slow car, very bottom.
Fuller might be holding David Green up a little bit right now.
That is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Here is Chad Little making a run inside of Curtis Markham, Lysol, John Deere. And we have the 00 car, Buckshot Jones, and the 88 of Kevin LePage, last week's runner-up.
Get in here.
8th caution flag. There's LePage. David Riddling on Farmer's Choice Fertilizer Chevy. What's left of the front end of that Chevy Martin car. Look at that right front tire just wobbling.
Wheel brake road on the right side.
Yeah, and he's got more damage on the left side than he has on the right side. Well, there they are. Whatever started it, they got together up there on the outside wall. That was Buckshot Jones in the 00 and Kevin LePage in the 88 car.
Well, David Ridling will bring that car down to C.R. Miller and the folks. As you heard him say a moment ago, brake rotor on the right side. After that great run at Michigan, finishing second last week, career best for Kevin LePage.
And David Green has come into the pits. The third place car is in the pits.
Our point leader, you see LePage in the back. There's the front pits with the Caterpillar car. And Benny Parsons is there, BP.
This is really amazing. David Green and these guys would pit the Caterpillar car because I talked to Steve Byrne on the 74 car. He felt like they could go the rest of the way without any problem whatsoever. But these fellows have chosen to come in, change 4 tires, and lose all that track position. Never seen Jim Purvis going out of the pits. Here comes the 77 car, Brad Teague, as he leaves the pits. 4 tires complete, and away they go.
Well, Benny, they had about 165 laps to go when they made their pit stop. That might have been borderline, but they've had a lot of caution laps, so they haven't been using much gas. I thought they could have gone all the way.
Well, 8th caution flag of the evening. We'll see what happens these final 60 couple laps here at Bristol, Tennessee. The youngsters are enjoying it. Hope you are too. Back with more at Thunder Valley. Stay with us. Enthusiastic race crowd here, numbering some 70,000, we are told, enjoying what is a great August evening at Thunder Valley. How about enthusiasm on Sunday? Grand Prix of Belgium, live 7:45 a.m. Eastern time on the Deuce. RPM today at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Deuce. The Parts America 150 live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hey, Benny Parsons will be flying up to Watkins Glen for that NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Double D, Dave Despain on hand to call the action lap by lap. Then at 3 o'clock, it's the NASCAR Featherlight Modified, NASCAR's only open wheel division. That's on ESPN2 and RPM tonight. Kenny Mayne and company will wrap it up at 8 p.m. Eastern time on the Deuce. What a busy Sunday for motorsports. I mean, yeah, we enjoy you fans. Hope you're enjoying the action Busch Grand National Series style. It is wild and woolly here in the mountains of Eastern Tennessee. Back in a moment. Bristol Motor Speedway, lap 189 a moment ago. They were getting ready to go back to green. The 5 car apparently was radioed that he had a left rear tire going down. Let's check. Whoa, trouble in turn 1.
Go to the line.
Hermie Sadler up across the racetrack. You hear the spotters telling their drivers, go high, go high. And Sadler comes down across in the DeWalt Tools Chevrolet, and that will be a break for Terry Labonte. What a tough break, though, for Hermie Sadler.
Hermie was running up there in 4th position in the DeWalt Tools Chevrolet.
Same car that he was running second with at IRP a few weeks ago, Ned, when with 16 laps to go, he was involved in an innocent incident that cost him a good top 5 finish. We started to tell you a moment ago, Terry Labonte had a flat left rear tire and came down pit road as the cars were coming around to take the green flag. They changed the left rear tire. He did not lose a lap. And Bill Weber, you've got the tire.
Right here, left rear, Terry Labonte punctured right here. This is the area circled right there. Terry felt it. He came in. You could see it was flat. They were going to make a 4-tire change, but the green was coming out, so they put on 2 left sides. Terry going to come back now and get right side tires, and he'll run to the finish. But Terry's chances at a win may be punctured by this puncture.
Indeed, certainly, as he heads back to pit road, as you heard Bill Weber say. Let's show you what happened here just a moment ago to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Jimmy Spencer in the 20 car comes up there and they make contact. And here they come again, make more contact, big contact that time, and that sends Hermie right into the wall.
A little different angle this time. You see Spencer, you see Hermie's car coming down across the racetrack.
Dick Trickle spins also in the car number 64. I don't think he hits anything. He just makes a 360 and keeps going.
And watch what a great job Jeff Green did driving through this. This is the roof camera, the Food City. Whoa, got a little. He got a little tap in the back of Trickle, but he's able to get through. Well, caution flag number 9. Do I hear 10? We'll stick with 9. Let's hope these last few laps, as we are 56 laps away from the conclusion. Still a wild and woolly evening here at Thunder Valley. Back in a moment. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway under caution for the 9th time tonight. Lots of action here on the high banks at Bristol, Tennessee. Things happen in a hurry here on this high-banked half mile. 36-degree banks, 0.533 miles around. Our field summary, Jeff Fuller being shown as the leader. He was our pole sitter, 39-year-old driver, first Busch pole. Dale Jarrett in second spot, Phil Parsons, Jimmy Spencer, Michael Waltrip in the top 5. There's Derek Cope. Good run for the Badcock car. Jeff Green, you saw him able to dive through a moment ago into 3 cars. Chad Little, Curtis Markham, Sadler, Keller, Brad Teague, David Green, our point leader, Elton Sawyer, and Randy Porter. ESPN presents Arena Bowl 10 between the top-ranked Tampa Bay Storm and the second-ranked Iowa Barnstormers. This is the first meeting between these two teams. Since 1991, the Storm have won 4 championships and are the current Arena Bowl defending champions. That's Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, Arena Bowl 10.
Okay, Jared, being given the signal, 1 lap to go, and we'll go racing again. Got a little over 50 laps to go.
Let's go down to the pits and Benny Parsons.
I just talked to Vic Kangas, the crew chief for Jeff Fuller in the Sunoco car, and said, you know, are you going to come back in for fuel? He said, no. I said, well, what about your tires? Are they giving up? He said, right now, Jeff is running 1640. That's as fast as he can run with brand new tires. So right now, the tires are as good as new. I guess if they start dropping off rapidly, they might have to pit. But right now, everything looks good to go for 50 laps. Bill Weber?
Benny, Dale Jarrett maybe saving his tires. He was chasing Terry Labonte, maybe not showing it all. Saving his tires for the final 50 laps here. Green flags out.
Fuller and Jarrett speed by the lap car Glenn Allen. Now Phil Parsons will make a pass, as will Jimmy Spencer, Michael Waltrip, and possibly Derek Cope.
And Spencer and Michael Waltrip made pit stops a while back on a caution flag and have already worked themselves back up into the top 5. Now Jarrett working on Fuller as they go into turn 3. He is there, bumps him a little bit, lets off, lets him straighten out. But you can see the top 5 cars there just bumper to bumper. Derek Cope not far behind in 6th place, and Jeff Green in 7th place is hustling also.
Dale Jarrett, the 1991 winner of the Food City 250. Trying to pick up his second win here in Bristol, Tennessee. It'll be his first win of the 1996 season, but Jeff Fuller has never won. Last year's Rookie of the Year in the Sunoco Chevy. And you got to know, pal, he wants this one in a bad way.
You know he does. And you heard him say, get your rhythm going. It's hard to believe you can get a rhythm going in a 16.5-second lap. But that's what it's all about at Bristol. You just get in the zone and you start running those laps. And we saw Fuller do it earlier when he was able to get a little breathing room and not worry.
He's holding about a half car length behind you, running the same line you are.
Dale's car is really good through the center of the corner. That's where he's been good all night long. If you've watched him pass people, he's waited, he's been very patient. When they slip a little bit, then he's been able to take the line away from him.
Here's Trickle coming back up through the pack after spinning out there, going by Jeff Purvis and the 5-car, Terry Labonte.
45 laps to go. Back up front, there is Jarrett, the 32 car, and Fuller in the Sunoco Chevy. It's Chevrolet up front.
There you go, about a car length. Now you're starting to get off the corner grate. Let's keep it up.
His spotter telling him he's getting off the corner grate.
And the hood again up on Jim Bound's car, the Barbasol car. You called it, Kyle. They didn't have that hood bolted down or tied down very well. It's back up again.
There's nothing worse than that, too.
Back up front, Fuller and Jarrett.
You're okay.
Bill Parsons, the 3rd place car.
And he has Jimmy Spencer right on his back bumper in 4th place. There you can see how close they are.
Slow cars on the bottom, Clear of it.
It is Chevrolet Ford, then Chevrolet. Here is Dick Trickle and Terry Labonte going by Elliott Sadler's car. These guys are coming in a hurry.
Just making their way back up towards the front.
40 laps to go at Quick time by for Fuller and Jarrett.
Taking a look. Still clear.
Who just joined us, Jeff Fuller, who's leading this race. There's Phil Parsons.
Lap car ahead.
Back in third spot. Yesterday at 5:23 in the evening, Jeff Fuller and his wife Liz had their third child, Tiffany Elise. So it's been a busy 36 hours for Fuller. His wife watching from a hospital in Charlotte, North Carolina, back at Presbyterian Hospital, cheering her husband. Maybe, just maybe, his first Busch Series victory ever.
He's driving his heart out.
4 cars ahead again. They're the ones that got out of the way.
Now Fuller able to pull away about 3 or 4 car lengths from Dale Jarrett.
He had a better angle on the lap car coming off of turn 4. Doesn't take Jarrett long to move right back in, though.
You saw Fuller's best finish of 4th. Boy, would he love to be able to go to victory lane. Won his first Busch pole in the series in his 46 starter early night. There's the 3 car of Jeff Green. It is Fuller, Jarrett, Parsons, Spencer, and Michael Waltrip. As we are 34 laps away from conclusion here, can Fuller hold on? Or will the veteran Dale Jarrett make the pass? We'll find out when we come back. Less than 30 laps to go as we have a crash here at Bristol, Tennessee. Heavy contact. Chad Little comes off the outside wall across to the inside wall. Brad Teague's car in the middle of the racetrack. Boy, Terry Labonte did a whale of a job, and so did Elliott Sadler to split the 77 car. That's Chad Little's John Deere Pontiac, or what's left of his Pontiac. Oh, what a tough break for Chad Little. Last time on the short tracks, Ned, at Indianapolis Raceway Park, Chad was on his way to victory and had problems with about 16 laps to go. And then tonight, we are less than 30 to go, and he heads back for the garage.
Tough season for Chad Little. Let's see what happens here. He was running along by himself. Something happens to the car. He gets up into the outside wall, comes back down, and collects the Brad Teague car.
Yeah, that's Brad Teague's 77 car. Watch Elliott Sadler and those guys. Terry Labonte went high around the outside of Brad Teague's car, and Sadler went down to the inside. Let's take a listen.
It looks like he just gets a little bit loose coming up out of the corner and tries to correct it. When he does it, maybe overcorrects a little bit. You're running so fast right in there that a lot happens in a 50-foot span, and it just jumps out from under him and spins back across the racetrack.
Eddie Parsons?
Yeah, Kyle, that's exactly what it looked like when I was watching turn 4. It looked like Chad lost control, but he goes up and the right rear caught the wall. And that just brought the right front end of the wall awfully hard. And then he climbed the wall, came down to the inside, hit the wall hard, and then along came Brad Teague. But it looked like the right rear caught the wall and threw the right front back into the wall.
Okay, we'll take another look at it. Here he is down on the low side of the racetrack, and you can see the back end got a little bit loose right there as he started off of the turn. And yes, the back end did hit the wall, and around he goes into the 77 car. Brad Teague into the inside retaining wall. Teague goes up across the outside of the track, and watch Terry Labonte go by on the outside.
Brad Teague kept that car number 77 off the wall. He was being shown in 11th place. Good run for Brad Teague. That's what's left of the John Deere Pontiac. Parts and pieces out on the racetrack. We'll pick those up and come back in a moment. Our Speed Road coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Food City 250 from Bristol Motor Speedway is being brought to you by Split Fire. Into the performance zone with Split Fire Performance V spark plugs. By Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. And by NASCAR. The NASCAR story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. Let's go down to Bill Weber, who's standing by with Chad Little.
And I know you're disappointed. What happened?
Just probably trying too hard the last few laps. Car had a tendency to get a little tight, you know, on a long run, and we were on the end of our long run, and I was just trying awful hard to keep up and pass whoever I could, and the car got out from underneath me coming out of turn 4. But I'm okay. It just wasn't our day.
Okay, the green flag is out again, and 1 lap completed, 22 to go.
Jeff Fuller being shown as our leader. Then Dale Jarrett, the 32. Phil Parsons, the 10. The 20 of Jimmy Spencer.
Ooh, Jarrett looked like he tried to go on the outside. He figured that's not going to work.
That's Parsons' roof cam, the channel lock car.
And here's another crash. Dick Crickle's in trouble. Let's see.
No flag yet. Keep it going.
No flag. He's coming down off the racetrack.
Keep it going. Looking. Come down.
That's why the spotters are so critical, Kyle. I mean, ordinarily you see a car spark, you probably would let off, but your spotter's yelling, keep it going, keep it going.
And that's when the spotter's really good, because sometimes your spotter will holler caution, you let up, and the other guy's hollering, you get things for 2 or 3 positions. His spotter did a great job on that car.
He's holding, running the same line you are.
Which is the right groove. Jeff Fuller running in the right groove to hold.
Low cars ahead, Jeff. One on the very bottom. Come on, come on, come on.
Ooh, here's, boy, that could be trouble right there. Thank goodness Buckshot Jones saw them coming and stayed in that high groove. He was about to come down.
He's looking, come down. Clear.
Well, they are single file back to about 10 positions there right behind Jeff Fuller.
Running the same line you are.
We're hearing there may be a problem with one car having a tire going down. The 92 car was in the wall over that Larry Pearson, and he slows. Dale Jarrett may have a right front tire going down. That's the word from his crew.
Well, he's still hanging there in second now. He's lost a couple of car lengths on the leader, but
We saw Dale bobble a moment ago, Ned. Wesley Ward is the crew chief down there, and now he's losing some ground, and Phil Parsons is all over the back of the 32 car.
I don't know if the front tire is going down, but he has picked up a little bit of push, Ned. You know, he's really good through the center of the corner, and you watch him go in 3 here. He pushes up just a little bit. He's got to wait on it, and it bobbles a little bit coming out of 4 each time. So something's definitely a little bit amiss on the car.
Phil Parsons is certainly working on Dale Jarrett there now for the second position. Yeah, he's pushing up coming out of the turns. You're right. And that's a weird feeling to be sitting there wondering if that right front tire, if there is anything wrong with it going at these speeds on this racetrack.
It'll be 10 laps to go next time by. 10 laps to go. You're looking at the rear bumper cam for Dale Jarrett trying to hold off Phil Parsons at second and third. Jeff Fuller is the leader.
And I'm going to tell you something. You can bet if they're telling us that Dale Jarrett has a little bit of trouble, somebody's told the 10 car and the 20 car and the 12 car, and they're smelling blood. These guys are like sharks. They're going after it.
That car ahead.
Well, Jarrett not backing out an ounce. He jumps back to the throttle, and now he's pulled to within a car length of Fuller. He reels him back in.
He's still pushing a little bit coming off of the corners. Not much. But Jeff Fuller doing a great job of holding the groove that he needs to run in. Now they're coming up on Rodney Combs. Let's see which way Rodney's going to go. Is he going to go low or high? And
come on down.
They get close once again.
7 laps to go. Fuller trying to hold on.
Keep running that line, Jeff. Keep looking. Come on down.
Well, Jeff driving with his rear view mirror and his spotter there. Can't blame him for that.
Can't blame him at all. You watch him come down the front stretch. He's running about a car length off the
Bring it on, buddy.
5
to go at the line.
He's going to make Dale Jarrett, if he passes passes him, he's going to make him pass him on the outside if he's going to do it.
Running the same line you are.
I don't think he can do that either. I don't think he can, as good as Jeff is running, I don't think he can pass on the outside. The group's just not fast enough up there.
Holding behind you. Slow cars on the very bottom.
It's going to be a long 4 laps for Jeff Fuller.
Come on through. He's on the bottom. Okay, start to the bottom now.
Michael Waltrip and Jimmy Spencer going at it back there for 4th place.
There's Derek Cope right behind him, just waiting for them to do something for him to pick up a position or two. He's had a good run tonight.
And now Michael Waltrip looks to the inside of Spencer. That's for 4th, right side of your screen. Jarrett on the bumper of Fuller. 3 laps to go for Jeff Fuller. Jarrett looks high. Fuller hugs the bottom groove.
Right behind you.
Fuller grew up driving modified, so he knows how to make a car wide, and he's making one wide right now.
Come on off the corner. Got about a car leg. 2 to go.
I've never heard a spotter drive a race car like that spotter.
Run your line off the corner. He's looking. He's inside. Clear.
Jarrett to the inside.
Come to the line. White flag, Jeff.
I'm going to tell you something. That shows...
Slow cars on the bottom. Come on through. Clear.
That shows the class Dale Jarrett has right now.
Come on down the straightaway, Jeff.
I'm not just saying that because Jed's staying here, but he running all the way inside, and Dale could have drove him down.
About 2 car lengths back, 1 car length. Come on to the line, buddy. You just won yourself a race.
Checkered flag for Jeff Fuller and the young man.
Good job, guys. The motor started skipping real bad when you gave me the 23. The 23 to go. The motor dropped something or did something. I changed ignitions and she's skipping pretty bad.
Hey, worry about that right now, buddy. Good job.
They said, don't worry about that right now, buddy. That's Jeff Fuller, and yeah, he deserves a victory lap. 39 years of age, the 1990.
How about a Polish victory lap for victory, buddy?
And this is going to be a very emotional victory lane as Fuller waves in this crowd of some 70,000. We'll come back and talk to what probably be a tearful Jeff Fuller in a moment. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, that young man right there, 39 years of age, in his 46th career Busch Grand National start, picks up his first ever NASCAR Busch Grand National win. And what a way to do it. He sat on the pole tonight, fought his way back up through traffic, and held off veterans like Dale Jarrett and others.
How's it in there, driver?
Less than 24 hours ago, his wife giving birth to their 3rd child back in Charlotte, North Carolina. There's that big smile from Fuller. 1992 NASCAR Modified National Champion, graduated from the open wheel ranks, the Busch Series. And let's go down to victory lane as the young man climbs out, a first-time Busch Series winner, Bill Weber.
C-section? Oh, no, that was last night. How you doing, Benny?
What? You ruined the roof of this poor man's race car.
I'll fix it. No, I only weigh 150 pounds, not 250. I'll tell you, this thing was going good. These guys work real hard. We've had some highs and lows this year, a lot of lows. Sunoco, I can't say enough about them. They've been with me for 14 years now, and I'm glad they stuck this out, and there should be announcements shortly for next year. But the motor started skipping towards the end. There was 23 laps left to go at the end there, and it started skipping. And I was just praying that it hung on, and, you know, it did. And I kind of cut Dale off a little bit down there, but we don't care. We're nobody, man. But you got to do what you got to do on the last lap. But I'll tell you, this is for the guys. Great job, great job.
What happened to the engine? Do you have no idea? No idea?
I really don't. I think it went down on 7, or maybe something happened, but it was fluttering.
Did your heart skip it?
My imagination.
Did your heart skip a beat every time it missed?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. You always hear about the horror stories. You know, the last 10 laps, you feel all these little gremlins. It wasn't a figment of my imagination. It was a fact. So I'm just glad for the guys. They did a hell of a job.
Well, we're going to go find out how mad the second place finisher is. He's with Bill Weber.
Well, Dale Jarrett takes a drink of Gatorade, a big smile on his face. That was pretty exciting from over here. How about where you were sitting?
Yeah, it was fun. It was great fun. I had a good time there. Had a good race car.
Jeff was better than me off the corner, and I was better than him getting in. And, you know, we just swapped back and forth there, a little paint, but he did a good job. I think he lost a cylinder and still hung on there, and my car wasn't running on all 8 either, but we were glad for this Band-Aid Thunderbird. Finally got back to running like we should, and that's more gratifying than anything.
Did you feel you had a right front going down on the closing laps?
Well, I thought that I did, but I think I just got up a little bit high, and the car took off on me, and I'd worked it pretty hard there trying to get around Jeff, so I think it was more that I just wore it out probably, but I was a little bit frightened. After seeing some of these guys hit the wall, I didn't want to hit the wall tonight, and don't want to any night, but definitely wanted to bring it home in one piece, so it was a good run for us.
Lessons learned for tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. This is a different tire than we had here in the spring, and kind of know how it's reacting and what it's going to do, and a little bit on the chassis too, so hopefully it's an advantage for us.
Okay, that's his first win. They had a baby last night. That's a pretty good story.
Congratulations to them. That's terrific. And Jeff's a great race car driver, well-deserved victory, and I'm glad to see him get it.
And that comes from a great race car driver.
How about that for a show of sportsmanship? Watch Dale Jarrett's crew as they're watching him on the last lap try to drive underneath Jeff Fuller. Watch that Band-Aid crew.
They see him get on the inside going into the turn. You'd think that he had him, but as Jeff said, he came down, which was the thing he needed to do.
Now let's watch it from the roof cab, Ned. And final lap again as you watch Dale Jarrett make a move inside it, and you called it, Kyle. What a class act by Jarrett not to pull back up. He could have tagged Fuller and it would have all been over with.
Yeah, he could have run straight through his door right there. That was a lot of class.
Unofficial results, our full fill rundown here from the Food City 250. Jeff Fuller takes the victory. Take a look and see where your favorite driver finished. You'll see the cars that finished on the lead lap. That's the top 15. You'll see that some of the cars that finished that had to park it. Hermie Sadler back in 27th spot. Randy LaJoy. That'll jumble up the point standings. LaJoy was second overall in the points, just 41 back coming in here. Yeah, it's moon over Bristol, Tennessee. 38 cars started, and what a while when we had here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Here are the points. David Green pulls away now to a 95-point lead over Randy LaJoy, Jeff Green, Curtis Markham, and Jeff Purvis in the top 5. Lots of racing action to come your way, of course, tomorrow. Our live flag-to-flag coverage. Bob Jenkins will be here. Before that, though, NASCAR tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and then the Goodies Headache Powder 500 live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming up next, the Champion Auto Stores National, ESPN's NHRA Drag Racing. For Bill Weber, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, and our guest analyst, Kyle Penny, I'm Jerry Punch, congratulating that man, Jeff Fuller. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long, everyone.